Good morning. This is Kellerland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Sioux Falls police are now investigating a 2022 death as a homicide. Police say 43-year-old Shane Berger was hospitalized following an incident at the Gateway Lounge in October. According to his obituary, Berger died in the hospital on November 10th.
Initially, investigators weren't sure if he had fallen or been injured in a fight. Police say his autopsy is now complete, and the coroner determined he died of a homicide.
The investigation's still ongoing. I think the detective has pretty much talked to a lot of the people or most of the people that were there, so still making headway with this, but at this point in time, no arrests, no charges have been made.
This is now the 7th homicide for last year in Sioux Falls and the second to remain unsolved. A Wednesday morning traffic stop led police to guns, drugs, and 3 arrests. Police say the driver was wanted, so they stopped his car around 2 a.m.
Inside, they allegedly found meth and 2 guns. One of them had been stolen from an unlocked car in September. The driver and all the passengers are facing drug and weapons charges. All 3 men have criminal histories. The Roberts County Sheriff's Office is thanking a local fire department and 2 residents for their help in the location and arrest of a man. Authorities say it happened in the Clare City area just before 9 o'clock Sunday night. A deputy had learned that a man got his car stuck and walked several miles to a home.
The 2 residents tried to take the man to meet with the deputy, but he ran down an unplowed road. Volunteers walked over 2 miles searching for the suspect. Nathan Stanley was arrested. He's facing a list of charges, including possession of meth and DUI. And we have an update to a New Year's Eve fatal crash. On Saturday, December 31st, a few hours before the new year, 57-year-old William Pig collided with 40-year-old Rebecca Earl.
Pig suffered life-threatening injuries. He has charges pending against him. Earl from Canton was pronounced dead at the scene. South Dakota Highway Patrol is investigating the crash.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. A couple talking points here this morning. We have some wind, some scattered blowing and drifting snow. We're watching the wind forecast. Let's take a look at that. And the center point of that wind, if you will, by 12 o'clock will be across southwest Minnesota. Just enough to create some of that just skating across the roadways. It's not enough for any official headlines per se, but I also want to mention too, we've had some morning fog issues out toward the Winter and Gregory area. So kind of a hodgepodge of ideas. Mostly speaking today, temperatures in eastern Ketherland will be a few degrees either side of 20. That is a little colder, and the wind, of course, adds to that feeling of the air. The overnight looks less on the wind in eastern Ketherland, and thus a colder start to the day. We're going to get a big warm-up, though, in Rapid City. How about some 50s for highs tomorrow? And we'll be talking more about that coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Brian. It's been just over a week since Mother Nature dropped more than a foot of snow in Sioux Falls.
Right now, city crews are busy picking up snow, so there's room for more snow throughout the winter.
Now we're just making extra capacity because we live in South Dakota, we know there's going to be a next snowstorm, so we got to have that capacity to stack more snow on there.
Right now, crews are working on emergency routes and around schools. They'll move on to secondary routes next. Crews with the city of Mitchell have hauled hundreds of loads of snow to the snow field in eastern Mitchell.
Assistant Superintendent Steve Anderson says their crew of 15 has been working for the past 2 weeks to get the streets and residential areas cleared of snow.
I think one day we ran an 18-hour shift just to clean downtown. But yeah, we're averaging 12-hour shifts just to get it done.
Crews are expecting to have cleanup done by the middle of next week. Pork producers and industry leaders are gathered in Sioux Falls to learn about new advancements in the swine industry.
The 54th Annual South Dakota Pork Congress Convention is underway at the Ramkota Convention Center in Sioux Falls. This event gives visitors the chance to see industry advancements in person and build connections with industry leaders face to face.
It gives our producers the opportunity to see the different options that there are. As you can see, there's a lot of different options available to them, and so it's a great opportunity for them to come into and network with one another and with those different businesses that are offering their services and their equipment.
You can attend the trade show for yourself today from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. There is also a seminar happening today talking about biosecurity. An SDSU freshman and longtime Brookings resident transformed a Christmas light display into an SDSU theme to celebrate the football team's championship win. Nick Teal is in his first year studying electronics, engineering, and technology at SDSU.
The idea of starting a light display came in March 2020. He has now done it for Christmas and Halloween. It was his idea to do an SDSU theme display during the national championship on Sunday.
We weren't going to do anything else, and I didn't want to come out in the cold and take them down. And I've always been a lifelong Jackrabbits fan, and what better to do than celebrate the win with the Pride playing and sync it up with the lights. I thought it was a pretty cool idea, and it clearly has been. It just took off. I wasn't expecting it.
Teal won first place in the Brookings Let It Glow Christmas Light Contest this past year. The SDSU themed display will last through the weekend and is on display until 10 o'clock every night on Deerdahl Drive in Brookings.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather here today. Well, watching a system well to our south, and that's one of the reasons why the wind has picked up just a little bit here in the short-term forecast. I do expect, though, that will be somewhat limited. Obviously, looking ahead even tonight, the winds in most of eastern Ketherland will start to really back off. A quieter weekend in terms of any precipitation, but we do have a return of some wind out of the south. That'll be an issue for southwest Minnesota Friday night and Saturday, but you can see we don't have any systems until Monday. And then at that point, there's probably a system that'll take a southern route. Iowa, Missouri, could see some rain out of this, and not just a little bit. You know, for January, if we pick up some quarter and half-inch numbers, that's a big deal. My biggest question on this guy here is whether or not we end up with just a little bit of wraparound that could produce a light wintry mix parts of Ketherland. We'll see. That's still a little bit of an undecided category there, but obviously we'll watch that. And then we get to regroup and get into the middle part of next week. Here comes a more organized system. Still very early on an exact track. I posed this question yesterday, will this track far in the north? That obviously would pertain to us. It's still tugging it south for now on most of the projections that look a little more reliable. But again, we're still way out on that deal, and we'll be watching it here in the Storm Center. One thing I have noticed is that the Gulf of Mexico appears to be pretty open. So there's more moisture, and initially, wherever that track goes, there could be some 6+ inch numbers in that. If Nebraska gets it, well, they're probably due, at least the southeast part of Nebraska, northern Kansas. At any rate, that's that. And then we'll end the week and maybe another system. This configuration on the jet stream tries to pull in another couple pieces here. Again, it's a little more active, certainly things that we'll continue to fine-tune as we get into the forecast. Day one looks pretty simple on these temperatures. East River will be a couple degrees either side of 20 with the wind out of the north at 15 to 30. Outlook for tonight, a little chilly, 2 degrees, Brookings, Watertown at 2, a little warmer in the west, and boy, we're off to a really warm start on Friday in western South Dakota. Look at those 50s in Rapid City and in Custer. Sioux Falls, I think if we make it into the low 20s, I'll be happy with that. It doesn't look like a warm day tomorrow, but the weekend will moderate back to the 30s, and with some wind around, we'll continue to see maybe some patchy blowing snow. Southwest Minnesota, Buffalo Ridge, and the Coteau of the Northeast certainly could be a whole lot worse on the wind on Saturday. I do want to make sure we're aware of that. And then, as acknowledged, that Monday system and then the next chance on Wednesday. They're still a long ways out. So at this point, we're far removed from any severe cold. I don't see that at all. 30s for highs in Aberdeen for early next week. Pierce should be close to 40 on Saturdays. So really pretty good stretch of weather temperature-wise. Rapid is obviously warmer. We'll be in the mid to upper 50s on Saturday. Be intentional. Enjoy it. Check out details at ketherland.com.